say you're doing the oral?
Yes, I did.
It's not you. Good morning, everyone. Today, I would like to ask you guys to just close your eyes for a bit. Just close your eyes for a second here. I'm gonna just have you guys visualize some things. So, think back to when you were a kid. Think back to maybe some warm summer evening. Think about, your mom or your dad or grandmother or grandfather cooking in the kitchen. Try to think up all those smells of the favorite meal of your house. Maybe it's spaghetti with some nice meatballs. Maybe it's chicken, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Yeah, I guess open your eyes now. What kind of feelings did that bring up? What did you guys?
Thanksgiving.
A lot of Thanksgiving's coming up. Yes, it's a lot of good memories come from family time around the table. And if you were like me and you grew up with a family that cooked regularly, we tried to have family time at least once a week. It was a great memory and a great experience. So today I would like to talk to you guys about some of the social benefits of cooking at home. So, today we're all college students and we all have very busy lives, especially in Orange County. It's very fast-paced, very on the go, and it becomes really hard to look for time and to find time to cook at home or to cook, some friends or something. But hopefully today I can encourage some of you and change your minds that cooking at home is actually really important. And to do that, I'm going to talk about 3 different things. First, I'm going to talk about how cooking at home can save you money, which I'm sure a lot of you may know. I'm also going to talk about how eating at home with a lot of fruits and veggies is healthier for you in the long run. And then I'm also going to talk about something for you guys to think about later on, if you guys are planning on having kids, about how it helps with creativity and math and learning growing up if you cook at home with your kids. So first, I'd like to talk about cooking and ways that saves you money. So cooking at home costs less money than eating out, which also can provide you with more money to do the things you love, activities you want to go out and do. Some of the things you can do with eating at home is you can buy in bulk. You can buy generic brand foods. In an article on the website Go Banking Rates entitled "Eating at Home versus Eating Out," Stacy Bumpus said, "Buy in bulk. One great way to spare your bank account when buying groceries is to buy in bulk. By shopping at your local wholesale store, i.e. Sam's Club or Costco, or even buying non-perishables online, you can save a ton in the long run. Shop generic. Most consumers have found that buying generic, particularly when purchasing basic things like flour, sugar, and even milk and ketchup, offers the same great taste at a fraction of the cost." And then you can visit your local farmer markets. Local farmers markets often provide consumers with a chance to buy fresh fruits and vegetables for a fraction of the cost. So those are some of the things that you can do when you go out to plan your meals, to go and get some of those bulk things and some of those items. The first thing I'd like to show you too on that is a graph about how transitioning in the long run into today from early 1900s. This is a graph showing where we have come to today from, versus eating at home versus eating away from home. And as you can see by that graph, it's come to about 50-50 now in our day and age. So a lot of people are not taking advantage of the different tools and resources we have, and you're actually eating out more. So which brings me to my next point. This is getting to an unhealthy lifestyle, and we can do better on that by eating more fruits and veggies. So you have control over the portion sizes as well when you're eating at home, as far as when you go out to get McDonald's or Burger King, whatever, you buy a number 1 and it gives you a Big Mac with a large fries and a large Coke. Well, that's portion size is versus calorie is not, you can't control that. It's just, you're just gonna get a stock standard thing, and a lot of those companies are using way too much sodium, way too much fatties, way too much stuff to preserve their foods and to give it to you in a fast and cheap manner. So that's something that you got to look out for. So as to that, there's an article on Cook's Aid entitled "The Benefits of Cooking Dinner at Home" by Maria Adams. She says most restaurants, most restaurant portions offer 2 to 3 times as many calories as we need, not to mention abundance of fat and salt. You are also less likely to get fresh vegetables and whole grains. Moreover, research shows that children who regularly sit down to eat together tend to be more physically active, watch less TV, and eat more healthfully than children who do not regularly sit down to eat dinner. Which brings me to my last thing, that eating with your kids, right, is something that is going to provide them with a more healthy lifestyle, rather than more physical lifestyle. And it also can help develop creativity, math, and timing in kids and young adults. So how does it do that? Well, when you cook, you have to take measurements: 1/4 cup, 2/4 cup, or which is a half, or whatever you have to do. You have to add all these things together to make a good, solid recipe, or to even follow a recipe. You have to know about fractions, you have to know about parts, you have to know about wholes. So if you're cooking with your kids regularly, it helps to do that. It helps in science, because you're going to watch chemistry at work by when you bake something. When you scramble an egg and put it on the stove, you're going to watch it turn from a liquid to a solid. And a lot of these things are new to kids, and it's very exciting for them to get in there, and it helps them be more creative too by, you can cook up whatever you want. You can cook up different things. I got a couple of examples. Oh, that was supposed to be there. Like, you can just make funny things like this, like a watermelon shark with some Swedish fish. You got a Cookie Monster cupcake, Cookie Monster eating a cookie. You can tie it into a lot of their kids' TV shows. And coming up on Halloween, we got some fun decorative Halloween things you can do with them: eyeballs, ghosts, pumpkin patches, spider webs. So that all encourages a healthy lifestyle in young kids and adults growing up. So in conclusion, I've identified and I've shown three things you guys can do to help yourself in cooking at home and stuff like that. So by saving money, so you can go out and hang out with friends more, go to movies, whatever, with the money you save. You can provide with a healthier lifestyle, and it can just get some of those creative juices flowing. When you're in the kitchen, just mixing stuff together. So my question for you today is, what are you going to cook tonight? Thank you.
Mitch, did you have the time?
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Oops.
All right, Mitch, you also were doing double duty because you're supposed to do the oral evaluation. What did you think of his speech?
I like his speech. I like his source citations and his source integrations and his vocal rejection. He didn't seem nervous at all. And I feel like it was good because it was on time too. He ended on time. It was nice. And I feel like you could have looked at the audience a little bit more. That's all.
Any opinion about the visual materials?
Visuals are nice. I think that they used the second one.
Okay. All right. Well, Spencer, I thought that the attention device, it's always a little bit hokey when you ask the audience to close their eyes and imagine something. On the other hand, you had a pretty nice description that went along with that of the different kinds of meals that people might be recalling. And everybody, of course, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people immediately evoke the Thanksgiving thing in their head, which ties in a timely way and makes it kind of interesting. You identify what your subject is pretty clearly. It sounds almost like a persuasive speech because you're trying to convince us to do this instead of telling us, just kind of describing the benefits. Although I did think that, in the body of the speech, you tried to stick to informing on most of those points. The first couple of points had a lot of good data in them. The cost savings thing seems pretty straightforward, but you also had some information to support that explains that. The nutritional information, I think you've got some good quotes there. Obviously, I think you skipped over one of your visuals that dealt with that particular issue, and that's just one of those things that happens occasionally. It probably would have helped that section because that was one of the things that I was thinking was missing there. We went from this one scale that talks about how often people eat out now compared to the way it used to be. And then I'm going, okay, so what does that mean? And that means, for instance, that they are consuming higher numbers of calories, they're spending more amount of money, all those kinds of things, and some of that might have been on that other visual. So that would have been a good transition material. I did not hear the transition between the first and the second point very clearly. It just seemed like you were suddenly talking about it. You labeled the first point when you got there very clearly, and I thought the third point was relatively clear, but the middle one I think you needed a clear transition on. There was an excellent preview at the beginning of the speech. The visuals, they were fine. That first visual is good information, although you introduce it when you're not really talking about that subject. It felt like it might have made more sense to have it earlier in the speech, maybe even as part of the attention device, to show us how we've changed over the years. And then maybe refer back to it when you're going to that second section where you were talking about what the nutritional content would be. That would probably prompt you to get to that second visual also. So I like the information on it. I just didn't think it was integrated into the speech the right way. It seemed like it was a little bit out of place. And of course, when you get to the stuff about making it interesting for the kids to participate and making an experience that's memorable for them, you've got lots of visuals that, who wouldn't want to be making Cookie Monster cupcakes with their family, or go to a picnic and have the shark sitting there on the table. That's the watermelon with the Swedish fish on it. That's kind of cool, and everybody would kind of enjoy that, and you make it fun. And I think you could use a little bit more data on how important it is that kids eat with their families, that they have that time together, especially when they're young. I mean, you're talking about it being a benefit from learning math and being introduced to science, which is not a bad thing, and I like the way that you sort of explain that, but I think there are probably other benefits too that could use a little bit more documentation. On the other hand, it was 8 minutes, so you don't want to put too much more in it. All right, thank you.